MPC1 Retro Edition review. Hey, what's up? I'm Delio, and you're watching the Delio T2K YouTube channel. This is a review of having the MPC1 1 year later, and I'm going to talk about, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and, I was going to try to unhook it, because I work, I like to create, so we're just going to leave it right here. It's kind of like the centerpiece of my music production center, which goes with the name MPC. And this is the retro edition, so it has the old school colorway, which I like, which matches the same color of this Akai S2000 right there. So I'm really fond of that. So I think overall it's been a really good controller. I think for the most part I don't really have too many issues with it. And the main thing I like most is that it was a nod to the old school MPCs. I had an MPC Live first before I got this one, and the MPC Live was really cool. It had all the features. It was my first official MPC I purchased for myself. But this had a different color and form factor that really put a nod to the old MPC 2000. I mean, it looks like a 2060 OG 3000 unit, before they started adding colors and things of that nature. And it's fully functional, so that same chipset that's in the MPC X and the Live 2 is inside of here, which is really cool. They didn't skimp out on that processing power, which adds more value to this. You got a secure digital card in the front. You got a few ins and outs in the back. I did a whole video talking about this thing, but this is me owning a year later. I've gotten used to the smaller pads, even though I wish this did have bigger pads, and I'm actually considering customizing this by putting some clear pads on here so I can get that full light through thing, which that's sort of the styling of Native Instruments. But this is cool. It's like it's not broken. I don't want to touch it. And I made this one the centerpiece because I didn't want to scratch it up. It's got the nice color on it. The screen is a little bit smaller than the Live, I think. Or it might not be. It might be the same size. I don't know. But the form factor is really good, and I didn't want to take this out and get this one beat up. I kind of made the Live be the sacrificial lamb, if you will, of taking it out to the world or taking it out to the gig or to the writing session, because I was like, this is a Live. And plus, when it has a battery in it, it's like, okay, this thing is meant to be taken around. Plus, I had a hard case for it already. I didn't have a hard case for this. So this one was not meant to be handled and moved around a lot because, when you handle it a lot, it, gets damaged and things of that nature. However, this one does have more buttons than the original Live. This does not have a battery in it, so it's not quite as portable as the MPC Live, but because it has a smaller form factor, you can definitely fit this in the bag. But I wouldn't recommend it because you don't want things knocking against these knobs, once these things get jacked up. Just knobs on all music equipment. It doesn't matter what brand it is. Any knob on any music equipment is delicate, and you have to really pay attention because knobs fly off of things, and then if they fly off, you don't find them again, and you may not find another one on eBay. So you want to make sure you take care of stuff like this. So if I were to start transporting this around, I would bite the bullet and buy a serious hard case for it. I wouldn't get one of them foam cases or one of those. No. Because you'll be glad to see my MPC Live has a lot of cosmetical stuff from hands and from me handling stuff like that. But the screen is pristine. The knobs are pristine. This knob has not worn out on this unit, but it has on my MPC Live. Literally, like the knob will just flop off of the unit and just sort of be messed up. So that's sort of the thing. And then this has less ins and outs, but it does have phono ins and outs, which is really cool in case you want to get a record player and hook it up to this. It's a lot of fun. It does have CV ins and outs for modular gear, which is really cool. So they gave a good nod to that. And it's worked really good. And the primarily use I've done for this is a controller, but it's also been a nice MIDI in and out port. I mainly use this with the MPC software since it's in my main workstation right here. And so it primarily works as a controller. So no, not all the processing inside is being used as a controller, but it could be used in case I need a separate MPC to do something fast or real quick or something, or say like the MPC Live breaks down, I can take this and put all the sounds in it and go. This also doesn't have a place to install a hard drive, which is different. And so I would miss that. If I had to switch from my MPC Live to this, I would miss having that hard drive because that hard drive was a nice 500 gigabyte hard drive, but eventually I know that the performance of that hard drive will deteriorate. It's a moving hard drive. It's not a solid state hard drive. I had a spare gigabyte moving hard drive. So I slapped it in there, threw a bunch of sounds in there, and it's been really cool to load all those sounds. But the interesting thing is that all those expansions and then the integrated plugins, and then with the new 2.11 software coming out, which I haven't put on this one yet, it's going to make it even a much more fun device. But it's been really fun, and I like using mixing stuff with the pads and things like that nature. You really start to contemplate and use these buttons more, which enables you to touch the screen a little bit less. But having that touch screen right there is something I definitely miss when I think about transitioning back to a MK3 style format, which has good buttons too as well. There's a lot of buttons on here, but I just like having that touch screen to really get inside and look at those samples and drag drag it right where I want it at. Instead of using the knob, I just drag it right where I want, and then I use the knobs to fine tune if I need to do that, which is really cool. And it's held up pretty good. It's held up pretty good, but I've been delicate with it. So, and the interesting thing is that I use one of those laptop stands to hold it up above the MIDI keyboard, so I can have sort of this MPC right here, MIDI keyboard right there. In the past, I would have the MPC or the drum device right here and the MIDI keyboard right there. So I'm constantly moving back and forth. But having everything in front of you, and because this is smaller, not the size of an MPC X, it's a lot easier to fit on the desk. Because imagine me, which I would try, fit a whole MPC X in front of me, build something that will hold it up steady on this desk. Totally will do that. But this is enough. This is plenty. This is a lot of fun. I've done a lot of work. I mean, if you come to my live streams, you'll see me on this thing, just pounding away on it. That's with the chat pads, chopping away on it. The pads light up very well. The screen looks up really good. I wish I could tilt it. I wish I could see it more from this angle, like more of a over angle. But the problem with that is, I just have limitations. The chair only goes up so far. There's always some more minutia details as far as how to get this to work. So it's not. I guess the only thing that I really want to change with, if I were to talk about it in a negative fashion, is that I wish it did have a battery in it, a place to install a hard drive, more ins and outs. I think it has 2 1/4-inch ins, and then it has outs. I don't think it has multiple outs. It may have. No, it feels like it's one stereo out on the back, and then probably a stereo input there, and then you probably have a little bit of a phono input. Yeah, I feel like RCA cables on that with a ground. I think you probably have to switch between phono and line on the back. It does have a network input on it, which is good in case you don't have good Wi-Fi, because I really think that these devices are going more onto a online format as far as keeping it updated. I think they thought about that through a while ago. And this definitely has Wi-Fi, I think. Let me double check. I think it does have Wi-Fi. I haven't had to check. No, I don't think this has Wi-Fi in this one. I don't think so. Oh, I may be speaking ahead of myself. I think that was one of the mistakes I made from the original video I did about this a year ago. I was like, yeah, it's got everything. It's got your Bluetooth. It's got your Wi-Fi. This thing's an amazing device. And then come to find out, no, it doesn't have all that. But it does have a Cat 5 cable. And of course, this is working with audio interfaces because the USB compliance that they did in the updated software 2.10. And of course, they're going to go further with that. And so it's really cool. But yeah, is it worth buying? Yeah, I definitely think it's worth buying. If money's an issue, you can probably find one on the used market. You don't have to get the retro edition, though. I am so in love with the retro edition. It just gives me that feel. It just makes me feel like I'm working on a really old device that has a legacy to it, even though it was just built. But it was finally my chance to finally kind of reach back and kind of touch the past and touch the future at the same time. So I love this colorway of it. There's black ones. Just fun. It looks cool. But man, just this throwback with the old school font on the front, the old school Kai logo on the back. It's a cool throwback, and definitely I would advise if you don't own any MPCs and you're looking to purchase one, a full-fledged one, this would be a great place to go and to start. It's not as portable, but I've seen people rig something up to where they can plug a battery to this thing. But it's definitely a nod. Definitely a nod in the right direction. Hopefully they're not as expensive as they were. I know everything's inflated right now. but it's a cool device. So yeah, that's it. I hate saying that's it because I know everybody clicks off when I do that, but I do have a live stream coming up where I'm playing your tracks. If you want to come through and have me do a listening party to your tracks, come through June 29th right here at the channel Dilio T2K. I'm going to be playing stuff from 9 to 11 p.m. Hope to see you there. Like this type of stuff, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Y'all know what to do on YouTube. Help support the channel. Hit the like button. Help support the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.